again. Today is just Deacon and I. Say hi, Deacon.
Hi.
It's just Deacon and I today. We are actually leaving our house. We were home. We got back in town on Monday from about a month and a half of travels. Back in town on Monday. I'm heading out this morning. It's Wednesday, the 8th, May 8th, Wednesday, May 8th. And we headed out of town this morning, and it's just me and Deacon this time. We've got a meeting in Knoxville. It's just Wednesday evening, so we'll come back on Thursday, just the two of us. It was going to be the whole family at this meeting, but we had a little incident yesterday. While we were home, we had one day kind of to reset and get some stuff done, so we mowed the lawn and we did a number of things. But one of the things we did was we washed the van and the car, and I had the boys help me. We got some buckets, some soap, and some scrubbers, and we were washing the van. And right around the time we finished, I was spraying the boys off to get ready to go inside. Now at our house we have a carport, and this carport has a pretty smooth concrete surface, and that's where we were standing, and I was spraying the boys off. And after I was done spraying them, I told them, okay guys, go up to the front door.
And Jaden slipped.
And so when they ran off, Jaden began to go up towards the front door, and he ran and he hit a spot. There was water for sure, and there was probably a little bit of the soap in the water as well, and it was a smooth concrete surface. His left foot hit down, slid straight out from under him, and he fell, and he hit his left hip, and then he hit his head, and it smacked pretty hard. And I ran over to him to go see if he was okay, and he
got injured.
He was crying like it hurt really bad. And so I looked down at him, and just to see what was going on. And as I looked down at him, he was, I could see his focus, and then he lost focus. You could just tell he lost focus. His eyes kind of began staring off, and he just kind of set his head back, and his eyes began to roll in his head a little bit, and his mouth was quivering, and he was just kind of sucking air in pretty sharply, and he was he was losing it a little bit. So I ran inside, and I told Nadia to call 911, and then I ran back outside, and I was trying to get Jaden's attention. Jaden, can you hear me? Jaden, can you hear me? Can you see me, Jaden? Can you see me? And I wasn't getting any response, but his eyes were open, and he was just kind of staring. I could tell he was breathing kind of sharply, but he wasn't there. In his mind, he wasn't there. And then Nadia came out with the phone right around that time, and right as she did, I could see his focus come back, and he began to regain focus. And so I could see him start to move and shift and just pull his hand up to hold his head and say, my head hurts, Dad, my head hurts. And so he started to get up a little bit as I got him on the phone. And I got on the phone and I said, okay, my son has just fallen and he smacked his head pretty good. I said, do I need to call an ambulance or should I drive him in myself? And they said, oh, we can't help you with that decision, sir. But while I'm making that conversation, Jaden is getting to the point where he can sit up and he's focusing and he can talk a little bit. And it was faster for me to drive than to wait for an ambulance. And it didn't seem like there was immediate necessary anything that someone in an ambulance could do. So I said, all right, I'm just going to drive him in. So I loaded him up in the car and we went straight to the hospital. During the hospital, he started to get real sleepy and started falling asleep. So I had him read some of the signs along the side of the road just to try to keep him awake and alert enough to do things. Now his cognition didn't seem very affected at all because he was reading good. He could do simple math. He knew his name. He had good memory. And so I was very encouraged by that. But we pulled into the hospital. We got to the hospital, and we got him checked in. They were pretty quick about it. They got him checked in. We sat there. They were pretty full. The whole hospital was full, so they kind of stuck us in the side room. It wasn't really a normal patient room. It was just a room with some chairs, and it had a little sink in it. But we were in the back where all the nurses and doctors were. And so there was a few times we had to wait. They took some vitals. They took some things like that. All his vitals were okay. He was complaining about his head hurting, and he was very nauseous. He felt like he had to throw up. That was more of a bother to him, was the nauseousness than the headache. And so we were waiting there, and finally they came back and they said, all right, we're going to do a CAT scan just to see if there's any damage. They took him back for the CAT scan eventually, and they ran it, and then we went back to waiting for a while. And while we were waiting, they told me it was fine, just let him sleep, let him rest. So he laid down and he went right to sleep right away. And he slept for, I don't know, it may have been 25 minutes while we were waiting for results. It may have been more like an hour. I don't know. Time wasn't super clear to me. But eventually they came back with the results, and they said that there was nothing to worry about it, and he was going to be okay. It was not a huge problem. They said, we're going to discharge you guys. They didn't even give us any medication. During this time, I was in communication with my wife. She was reaching out to some people, just asking them to pray. And we thank the Lord that Jaden was safe. You know, we were pretty concerned just by the way he was responding at the initial impact. We were pretty concerned. It's a little bit of a scary thing sometimes, you know. You come face to face with your mortality or the mortality of your loved ones, and trusting the Lord is important. It's something that is necessary. And I very much believe the Lord gave me peace and clarity through the whole situation, which I'm grateful for. But I want to reach out to you folks, and I want to say, we need your prayers. You know, we need to pray for each other, whether it's a missionary or not. We need to pray for each other. We lift each other up in prayer, and we bring each other before the Lord, and the Lord gives us grace, and the Lord strengthens us, and the Lord protects us. And so thank you to everyone who prays for us, and please continue to do so. Please continue to lift us up in your prayers before the Lord, because we need it. You know, from simple day-to-day things to traveling on the road to different problems and issues that we have to work through to accomplish the will of God in our lives, for protection from the devil and the temptations he sends our way. We need your prayers, and we ask that you would pray fervently for us, and pray fervently for each other. As Christians, if we prayed more, we would see the hand of God move more. So I do want to thank every single one of you for praying for us, for supporting us, for loving us, and for caring for us, and being involved in the things that we do. Thank you for that. And please pray for us as we continue to work on deputation. We have a lot of meetings that we need to fill for June and July. June and July are very empty for us, and so we need to fill some meetings for June and July. And then my wife is due with a baby in September. We're striving to stay close to home through August and September as well. And so we have a lot of ways to go in deputation still. So keep us in your prayers, and we love and are thankful for each one of you. Feel free to reach out to us whenever you want to. We love to hear from people. Thanks. Bye.